Hey, hey, hey.
Hey everyone. Hello, I'm Tiff.
And I'm Jack. And this is the Unstoppable Empath live show. And we're so glad to be here. This is a place for you, the empath, to get the support you need to make life feel easier.
We would love to know where you're from,
Yeah,
so please put it in
maybe I should get over to the comments.
Hi Luann. Hi Cecilia.
So today is going to be an amazing, amazing day. If we would love to know if this is the first time you've ever joined us, let us know. It's always fun to see your name and to recognize that this is the first time you've ever been a part of one of these wild, crazy shows. The topic today is the biggest mistake you'll ever make, or that you could ever make. Now, that's kind of a scary title.
It's a beta interrupter.
Does it make you feel a bit like, oh my God? Like,
I better find out what that
is. I mean, it's the thing that will slow you down the most in life. No question about it. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we just want to look at you here with us.
Hi, Feruza, Kelly, Merritt.
It's so good to see you.
Because you always come in right at the end.
I love to see that. Facebook user from Montreal, Canada. We don't see your name, but we do see your comment.
Yeah, please let us know your name.
Yes. So it's wonderful to see you here with us. Today's going to be a great topic. We just wrapped up the podcast by the same title. It was a great conversation. And we're going to start today with, we're going to do the Rebel deck reading. Now, if you're new to this, Tiff does a reading. She does a tarot card reading right on the top of the show. And it's the Rebel deck.
Hi, Shay.
So it's a little bit rebellious and a little bit wild. If you have kids in the room, like, we're going to be saying the F word. So put on your headphones.
No, we're not.
Yes, sir. The
Rebel
deck is loaded.
That's true.
So go ahead and pick your question. Tiff, pick your question.
Okay.
And she's going to be drawing your cards, and just pick a question that you need an answer to, something that you need some direction on, something that you feel like you need to get some answers. This is your chance.
Okay.
Carolyn Cardone, we're so glad that this is the first time. I'm Jack.
Hi, Carolyn. So glad you're here with us.
We like to have a lot of fun and to keep it real. Oh, Facebook user, new phone. So you're getting used to a new phone.
Okay.
And we're so glad you're here. Leona, welcome. We're glad you're here today. So we're starting with the deck, tarot deck, Rebel. What is it called? Rebel deck.
The Rebel deck, tarot with attitude. See how it's got the unicorn all crossed out?
No fluff here.
No fluff.
Okay, here we go.
So I got my question. Do you have your question, my friends? Just think about it clearly in your mind, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. And then after, please let us know which card answered your question. A really great way to do these questions is, what does the universe want me to know about a certain situation? Whatever your question is.
That's a good way to put it together.
It's really good,
yeah,
right?
I like
that. It really helps me. Okay, and then I'll tell you what my question is as soon as I draw. So here we go. Number one. Ooh, this is good. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it.
Plenty of F word in both of these.
Oh, great. See, you manifested that, my love. Okay. Oh.
Hi, Allison from the UK. We're
okay,
so glad you're
actually,
here.
There's 4. I can feel the 4th one.
4.
Yeah, there was 4 last week too. Okay. So my question was, how can I best support my family members in the trying situation that we're in with my brother with COVID in the hospital?
Okay. The first card is, whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. Now is not the fucking time. That's card number 1. Card number 2, drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. Okay. Number 3, stop sleeping so damn much. Wake up. You're missing some cool shit. And card number 4, don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some fucking time alone. And you know why?
I think mine is the ego card, but it's not because of the ego. It's the message on the back. Vulnerability is hot as AF. But it's about the being, vulnerable. I have a lot of strength in me, so I carry a lot of strength, and I feel like being vulnerable is probably a message for me to just be vulnerable with what's going on with our family.
Yeah. Okay, again, really quick. Card number 1, whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. Now's not the time. Drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. Stop sleeping so much. Wake up. You're missing some cool shit. And 4, don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some fucking time alone. And you know why. Shay, 4 is mine. I need a break from my kids. Mommy needs a timeout. Mommy does need a timeout.
Yeah.
Mommy does need a timeout. Kelly Smith is
Kelly
in the
Smith, my
house.
BFF's on here.
That's-
You better stay on the whole time.
Leona, cards 1 and 4. Kelly, mine was the 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th card. Feruza, card 4. Okay, you guys, there you go. Carolyn, 1 and 3. Cecilia, 1 and 4. Luann, card number 2. So take action on that. Like whatever that is for you, whatever came for you today through that reading, what would be your next step in regards to that answer be, and do it. Whatever that is. So Shay, time out.
Merritt, you've been really sick with COVID? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling better now. Let us know how you're doing.
For sure. Let us know. So there you go. That's the card reading, babe. You got your answer. Everyone got their answer.
Yes.
Before we jump in and start talking and teaching on the topic of the biggest mistake you could ever make, just as Tiff was alluding to, her brother is in the hospital with COVID. It is not a good prognosis at this point. So that's where the vulnerability and, being real and allowing yourself to show up and, and being a medium and all those things that you still have all your feelings to feel.
Yeah, the human condition can be a little sketchy. I know you all know what I'm talking about. We have a lot of deep feels as empaths, and we have to feel them. They all come up, whether we want them to be deep or not. But on the flip side, the joy that comes for empaths as well, we experience a lot of euphoria and bliss and beautiful things. So, and I would not change being an empath for $1 million trillion because it really enhances my life. And now that I know how to manage my energy and I spend my life teaching people how to do this so that they can feel awesome as an empath too, life's pretty darn good. So, hi, Megan Bennett.
Were you going to say something? I was going to
No.
jump in.
Go for it.
I heard the breath being pulled in like you're going to expel.
I always have a million things to
expel
say.
words.
Sometimes I just choose not to keep speaking.
Okay, so let's talk about the topic, right? The biggest mistake you could ever make. And it's one word. And since we're here live with you, we would love to have you pop into the thread what you think it might be.
Yeah, what do you think the biggest mistake you can ever make would be?
What do you think it would be? Kat says, I'm still learning to accept and appreciate my gifts. That's why we're here.
Good job.
We're here to
Good job
support
being
you
here.
in accepting and appreciating your gifts because you are a gift. That
Thanks.
is for sure.
Thanks, Carolyn. I appreciate that.
So what would you say, our viewer, what would you say is one of the biggest mistakes you could ever possibly make?
Judging. That's a good mistake.
Yeah, that is a good one. Judging is awesome because
Yeah.
it allows us to see a little bit more about ourselves. The things that we're pointing out or irritated about someone else is usually, well, always because there's something in ourselves that we don't like about it. Merritt said giving up. Yep, that goes right along with what we're talking about today. Megan Bennett, not trusting myself is my biggest mistake. Yep. Victoria says not trusting your intuition. Kelly said doing something without thinking it through. These are really good. Cecilia
I
said
like you guys.
getting too involved.
Lack of self-care.
Someone said, I don't believe in mistakes. We don't either.
Who said that?
I don't know. It's just Facebook user.
The person that said, I don't believe in mistakes.
really don't
I'd like to know
believe-
who you are.
I really don't believe in mistakes, not making the mistake. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
either. We don't buy into the word mistake.
Yeah, we're going to share with you.
Yeah, we'll
a
get
little
there.
bit. Yeah.
Over helping and no self-care. Ooh, right. Yes. Lack of self-care. Feruza, not to be afraid at the time and have faith in myself. Shay, not letting go. These are really good answers.
You guys are awesome.
Leah Barber is
Hi,
the
Leah.
mistake. We're with you on that. Okay, so the word is the biggest mistake we could ever make is complacency. That's where we're going. That's the angle that we're coming after today, because when we are complacent, we are not engaged in the creatorship of our life. And Tiff and I stand on the tenet, we believe with all of our hearts that we are here creating our lives because that's our divine purpose. We are the creator. We are co-creating with source energy that we are of, and we are here to create our life. When we are in complacency, we are not taking an active participation in our own life.
Yes. And so let's talk about the word mistake, because we talked about it in our podcast as well. We really don't believe in mistakes. We're using it kind of as a
beta interrupter,
catch off guard to get your attention, because there really aren't any mistakes. I mean, there are things that are in alignment and out of alignment that make us feel good or make us feel not that great. But everything is a place where you can learn from. And complacency is one of those things that stop you dead in your tracks and living an empowered life as an empath. And oftentimes the lovely companion of complacency is apathy. How many of you have felt that old familiar feeling of not feeling one thing about one way or the other? You're just apathetic, sitting there, complacent, going,
this is all it is. This is all I get. I think we should start with, what is the definition? How do you define complacency? How do I define complacency? And you, our watcher, how do you define complacency? Let's start there. That's a really important practice.
What's your personal definition? Because everyone's going to have a different one.
Yeah, we use that in our coaching all the time. Like, we all have a different idea of what everything means. So in our relationship work that we're doing with someone, it's like, get on the same page. So at least you know that what you're each talking about when you say this word. So complacency, Tiff, what does complacency mean?
Complacency to me is not making decisions, just kind of sitting there, allowing things to happen to you instead of you taking an active role in creating your life. That is complacency.
That's exactly how I see it as well. It's just not being engaged and life is happening to me. I'm just like, well, whatever God wants, I guess that's what it's going to have to be. And I take myself out of the creator seat.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's complacency. So now, how about you, watcher? What do you see? Getting through the day attitude, like, oh, I just have to get through the day.
Yeah, just like
comfortable in my uncomfortableness.
Is that your
Cat says comfortable in my
Cat? Can you elaborate a little bit? Is that your definition of complacency?
I define it as coasting and not finding passion, meaning not being the captain of my ship. Leah says that. Yep. Okay. Kelly, complacency to me is withdrawing from all and not wanting to know.
Very good.
That is good. Fruza, mine is confusion with my feelings.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how everyone sees a little bit differently? So the one thing that all these things have in common is that you're kind of sitting still and not moving forward. Okay. And we're going to talk about that today. And Jack and I are going to have a candid conversation because Jack is the king of non-complacency. Thank you that he is that way. I tend to have a little bit of complacency here and there with little things. I don't last there very long, especially because I live with a man that does not live that way. And he has some very good life coaching advice for his wife when I get into the place of complacency. And listen, complacency, when I have that complacent feeling of like, well, this is the comment that I hear more than any other comment when someone's in a place of complacency. Well, it is what it is. That is when I know I'm like, oop, they've hit that complacency place. It's time to have a conversation.
One person's cat said just existing
and
not living.
Luann
said being in my shell and not interested in interacting. Jan, hi Jan. Complacency is not living with intention.
Jan, I think I saw you like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was driving in my car and you had a bright orange jacket and you were walking a dog kind of by Highland High School. And I was like, I think that's Jan. And I keep running into Jan. Like it's just the weirdest thing. And so if that was you, I was like, I wanted to wave, but I was driving too fast. I probably should have stopped and hugged you.
Carolyn said, this is my life every day. These days, I just feel like I'm going through the motions every day for the sake of my children, not living, just existing. Carolyn, you're here today. That tells me that you want more.
Yes.
Or you wouldn't have found.
Yes.
Jan said it was her. That's
Hi,
awesome.
Jan.
Someone said they've started waking up and turning on music. Beautiful.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
That is. So I would like to share a little bit about why I am.
Did you do your, oh, you did your
Yeah,
definition.
about why I am so hell-bent, heaven-bent, however you want to say it, on living a very intentional life. Is because I tried to fit myself in a box for a very good portion of my life. I'm 53 years old. I would say for the last going on 16 years, I am wide awake, living on purpose with true intention every day, creating. I always say I want to go all out every day of my life till I'm on my last breath of this body and have zero regret. And it's because I lived so putting myself in a box. I am a trans man. That means that I was born in a body that didn't match who I was on the inside. And I am now expressing, my name is Jack Walker. I am a man. My birth certificate says male. And I am a trans man, and I am living my best life, and I am not stopping anytime soon.
So true.
And it's because I was awakened. I mean, what is it called in Christianity where you're
born again?
It's like I was born again. I was legitimately born again into a new awareness and remembrance of the power of who I really am. And I will never shut up about it. That's why I spend all of my time talking about it, coaching about it, working with people on it, pushing people beyond what their perceived limitation so that you can have more. If you can't feel, and I know you can feel me right now, I am filled with energy. Because this is the ticket to our happy life. This is the ticket to us feeling aligned with who we are. And that means we cannot be complacent with status quo. We cannot just sit where we are and think this is all we get. And that is the truth for me. And that is the truth of complacency. And that's why I actually am the one that picked the topic for today.
I know he did. He's like, we're talking about this and this. And I'm like, cool. I can talk about anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we all are together. And Tiff and I stand for you. We stand for the empath to realize that you are unstoppable and that you have some things about you by nature of being an empath that give you even more awareness of what's going on, where you're going, what you want, how to feel, to trust that nudge, to take action on it. And that's why we're having this conversation today. So, having said all that,
when did you notice that you made a different decision to live all out? And I'm telling you, folks, I live with a guy that does not ever just sit down and think it is what it is. He is on such a forward movement. He is full of so much passion and so much movement, and he's continually creating, and we're continually talking. He is about as delightful as you could possibly imagine a human being, and he is just the biggest driven go-getter ever. And so he really is the one to talk about this. I live more in the flow. It doesn't mean I'm complacent. Flow doesn't mean complacent. It just means that you kind of take your time with things. I like to take my time. Jack is on a fast track, and it's awesome. And he spends his life teaching people how to live without being complacent. That's what he spends his life doing.
Take the throttles off. We don't have to be throttled back anymore. And this really comes down to the decisions that we make. And this is where this life that I'm living right now, I feel like I've had two lives. And my first life was from the body of a girl. I was named Susan at birth. And it was when I was, 53. So I was 46, right? When I made the choice. Took me 2 years to make the solid decision to transition because I've given birth to 4 children. I have 6 children. Tiff has 2. I have 4. I was married in a previous marriage for 19 years and to a man. And I'm married now to Tiff, to the love of my forever. This is our 16th year together, going into our 16th year together. And it's when I met Tiff that I was awakened. That my rebirth began because I was so deeply moved by this woman and so attracted to her. I had never allowed myself to be sexually attracted to a female, although I think back to my little girlfriends back in grade school, I loved them. Okay. I loved them. Now I understand the kind of love I had for them was a little bit different than just like a little friend. It was like, I loved them. I just really did. And anyway, That's a side note. But when I met Tiff, it gave me an opportunity for more. And there was a day that I made my decision, and the day was me making a decision to either stay in the box and stay tucked in that box doing all the things that I did. I had on paper, you'd say, it's a very successful, wealthy life. I had, a lot of awesome privilege and all these great things for myself, and I felt like I was seriously, my feet were in cement. It's like, this is all it is. And you're going to have to dumb yourself down and live so stuffed in this box for the rest of your life. And I felt dead. I mean, I just literally felt half dead. And I was a truth seeker. So all these years of my life leading up to that, I have read and studied, but I kept putting it away because I couldn't reconcile it with my religious choice at that point in my life and the programming that I was raised with. For me, it was not working. So Tiff walks into my life and I'm like, who is that? And what is going on inside of me right now? And what is happening? And it was it about 3 years in that my decision day, when I finally ripped the picture of Jesus. 5 years in.
Yeah, 5 years.
From meeting her, 5 years in, I was faced with a decision. Am I going to follow my heart? And what my heart wanted, it was so clear. I wanted a life with Tiff. I wanted to run this business with her. I wanted to live big. I wanted to do it all. I didn't want to work a regular 8 to 5 job. I wanted to be this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to start a movement of waking people up to the truth of themselves. I wanted it. But I couldn't see how to get there. Nothing was spelled out for me. There was no path that looked like it would work because my brain was screaming at me, turn back, get in the box. Don't do this. Don't follow your heart. My heart's like, you're going to be dead. If you don't follow what's going on inside of here, it's going to kill you slowly and you're going to hate your life. And I chose my heart. And I remember it's like the day I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm all in. And the best thing is I had a vision board on my wall. I ripped the picture of Jesus. I had Jesus on my vision board. I love Jesus. I still love Jesus. Rip Jesus out of my vision board, hold Jesus against my chest. Like, please save me, Jesus. Save me from myself.
From me. You're like,
from her.
No.
And I chose my heart. And let me tell you something. It was the best decision I ever made. That's why I can stand here till the day I take my last breath in this body, and I will stand for you following your heart because it works.
It does.
Joseph Campbell, when he said, follow your bliss, he's not shitting us. Follow your bliss means that you're going to trust that part of you that knows better than your logical brain can tell you why you shouldn't. It knows it's for you. And because I made a decision to go all in, it brought me where I am today, which is a really awesome place, married to a woman that I adore. We have 6 amazing adult kids, all living their own way. They're doing it their own way. And we are leading a movement of thought, waking people up to the power of your thought. And you're the empath and you're our person, and we won't stop. So the topic today is about complacency, because when we're complacent, we're not making decisions. We're not being clear on what we want. We're just sitting and taking the fucking scraps.
No way.
And it sucks.
No more.
So we're talking about complacency and decision making. And the day I made that decision changed everything for me for the better. And it's been hella scary some days. And the best thing I've ever done. It's the most exciting ride I've ever been on. And I know it works to follow your heart, to make your decisions, get out of complacency. If you're looking around and feeling like this is all you get, it isn't.
I just have to say a couple of things as I'm listening to your story. It's taking me back to all those really scary decisions that we had to make. And I cannot express the depth of how good it is because of what we decided to do. If everyone could see a film of where we started and where we are today, it would convince you to live your best life, because some of the decisions that we made went against everything that we had been programmed to do. So we made all these decisions and we acted, and we had each other. Oh, it was so scary. I just thought everything was going to fall apart more than 100 times. And things just kept getting better and better and better. And what I've come to realize is when you make a decision, when you decide to step out of that complacent place of like, well, it is what it is, life's happening to me, then the universe or the God of your understanding, whatever that is for you, comes in and supports you with energy to carry you through that decision. And then you get to make another decision and another and another. And if you'll keep taking the risk and going, universal energy comes in and supports you with more energy. And I can say with a knowing that if you will act on what your desires are, your true desires of your heart, because what you want wants you, if you will act on those things, you will find that miracles will be placed in your very path to assist you on this journey to your best, most empowered empath self. And empaths are the most powerful people I know. I mean, some people will be like, oh, they're a doormat and they just cry all the time and they have all these feelings. And here's the deal, that you are the most powerful people on this earth because you are the most clear, the most gifted, the most powerful at setting intentions and manifesting, whether it's what you want or what you don't want. And you have gone through so much to be where you are today on this very call or this very video. Think of all the things you have come through. You are powerful and you are here to live not just the hardship, but also the joy. And I'm telling you, the joy is pretty damn joyful when you get to it. And it's because you choose to step out of complacency. Even if it scares the hell out of you, you do it, and the universe will meet you there and carry you right on through.
Amen. So Tiff, why don't you share? I loved what you shared on the podcast about how you, when you find yourself in complacency, how you move yourself out of it, what you do.
Well, there's two things that I do. Well, three actually. And I think I only shared two on the podcast, but one of them is I will typically talk to you if you're here, like if you're home. I work here in our home office and Jack works in our offices here in Salt Lake City. And so he's not always here, but sometimes if he's not in session or something, I'll call and say, okay, I'm feeling kind of like, blah. And he'll remind me of some things. So having deep conversations with people that aren't what's the word? Complacent, is very helpful because the energy just kind of introduces itself and reminds you of what you already know. The other thing that I do if I'm by myself, which I have a lot of alone time because I do all my sessions here and it's a really comfortable life for me at this point. So sometimes I can get complacent, and especially in this pandemic where I'm pretty, I keep myself in the house. I don't go out and do things right now. With what I experienced 2 years ago from COVID, now what my brother's experiencing, I'm just not willing to take the risk to go out and play. So I can feel feelings of complacency, and I will set my intention and have a conversation with the universe literally and say, okay, this is what I want for my day. And then I get up and start moving. And sure enough, it gets delivered every single time. And the next thing that helps me stay out of complacency is my work, because I'm a healer, I'm a medium, I am a teacher, I do all kinds of fun, enlivening spiritual sessions with people all over the world. And it excites me. Like it enlivens my life to be able to sit and do a reading on someone and introduce them to ideas about what's possible for them for the first time. And they're just so excited about life. I mean, there really is nothing quite as fulfilling as what I do for my work. And it keeps me out of complacency because I get to see the bigger picture and I get to work with amazing empaths. Oh my gosh. I love the empath community because they are such deep, loving people. And I love depth, the depth of everything, those conversations about things that really mean something. So those are the things that I do to stay out of complacency. But every now and then I find myself waking up at 3 a.m. and I'm just like,
yeah, you're a human being.
It is what it is. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Or if you're in PMS or something, it may be a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. I see there's a question here from Kat, and she said, how do you get rid of that voice, your mother's in your head, though, the underlying beliefs? So Kat, and Victoria said, bag work. And okay, so let me just speak to this really quick. The first thing when it comes to those nagging voices that keep popping up, your mother's or someone else's that keep popping up and haunting you or yelling in your head, in that moment, you have a choice to make. Are you going to have your own back, or are you going to have her back? Right? It's our job to have our own back. Once you start having your own back and making a new choice about yourself for yourself, because no one else gets to do that ultimately, unless we give them the power. So that's what I would say first and foremost. Have your own back. Take a stand for yourself. And if you hear your mother's voice saying something, well, I'm choosing to do it different, and this is my choice. Right? It's like, even if you're talking to yourself, it's a great way to turn that around and bring you back to a place of empowerment. And bag work, for any of you that don't know, bag work is what we built our coaching and healing practice on. It came through TIFF, and we've been in business for, I think this is our 15th year. And it is an amazing process to help you literally remove the limiting belief from your brain and shift your energy immediately once it's removed. We do that in our Thrive group, which is our empath group coaching, and we do that in our private coaching practice. But the first step is have your own back.
Okay? Yeah. And if there's anyone that's like, I really want to work and do the deep inner work, send a message to either me, Tiffany Walker, or Jack Walker, or Victoria Rose on Messenger, and we'll set you up with a connect call and tell you all the things that we do in our practice. But like Jack said, having your own back, it's a really important thing to understand, because we will spend our whole lives sometimes, for some people, doing what everyone else thinks that we should be doing. And that means we're living their life, not ours.
Yeah.
So we have to get clear on what we want, and then have our own back and say, no, I'm not going to accept this anymore. The truth for me is this. And then you have some inner work to take care of. And that's really our specialty in our business. That's why we do these shows, is so that we can give you as much information as we can at no cost to help you on that journey.
And one thing that I want to mention, like we're talking about, as Tiff was saying, and even having your own back, you have to get clear on what you want and how you want to show up in the world, and what you want for yourself, and how you feel about yourself and who you are, and make decisions for yourself in your own behalf to do that. And one of the things, when you're getting clear about what you want in life, Tiff and I work with a lot of people that say, well, I don't know what I want. Right. And it just like cuts off right there. Well, I don't know what I want. And that will equal complacency.
And you know why people don't know what they want? Because many of us are conditioned to believe that our wants are irrelevant, that it's the wants and needs of others, especially as empaths. Because we're healers. So we want to help. We want to reach out. We want to help heal and support and love and do all those things that empaths do. And then we decide somewhere down the road, because of some conditioning or just something that we've heard, that the things we want and need are not as important as everyone else. And this will land you in codependency, in energy drain, and ultimately into sickness, because you, my friend, are the one that has to have your own back. No one else will have it. I know you have people's backs, but very rarely. And I would like to hear from all of you. How many of you have had that feeling of like, I give and I give and I give and I give, and no one seems to really even ask how I'm doing? How many of you on this call today have had that experience? Please just say yes. This is very, very common for empaths, because we are so giving that we forget that we are people that must be cared for, perhaps even more than the people we're caring for, because we're the carers.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, see, yes,
absolutely. Yes. And then this is why we're talking about you having your own back.
Yes.
It's your privilege. It's your privilege. You know how to have your back better than anyone else. And if you're giving everything you've got to everyone around you, where do you fit in? Of course, you won't know what you want, because all you're doing is taking care of everyone else's wants. And we're here to support you and stand for you in getting to the bottom of what you want. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your day? How do you want to feel today? What do you want for your life? And it's not, and what I was going to say also, one of the things that gets in the way with people that saying, well, this is what I want, but I don't know how to get it. Good. We're glad you don't know how to get it, because that's not your job.
No, it's not.
Your job is not to know how. That's the job of universe, source energy. That's how we are in the dance with God, source energy, whatever you call that beautiful, exquisite stuff that we're all made of. It's not our job to figure out how, otherwise there would be no dance. It's our job to know what you want. And it can be anything. It can be big. It can be little. If you have a really hard time knowing what you want, start with knowing how you want to feel. And once you identify, well, what I want to feel today is peace, right? And then ask, put it out there, ask your angels, please bring me peace today. Lift this heaviness off of my heart. Lift this heaviness out of my mind. Lift this anxiety from me today. Bring me peace, please. And then you're opening up to more. You're in starting that beautiful, exquisite dance with the universe in your behalf, with your angels that are right here with you, for you, asking, waiting for you to say, please help. They're like, yes, we're here. That's the beauty of knowing what you want. That's why when we say the biggest mistake we can ever make is to be complacent and think this is all there is. If I lived that way, I would not be Jack Walker sitting here talking to you. I would not have the power and the fire in my guts to share this message that you get to be anyone you want to be. You get to have, be, or do whatever you choose. The only thing stopping us is the fact that we don't ever figure out what we want. And then let go of the how. Tiff is the one that was a massive download that came through to her. And that message has sustained me every day of my life. Let go of how, Jack. You don't have to know how you're going to have this, that, and the other thing. Let that go. Just know that what you want is designed as part of you.
You know, the ever elusive thing when you're working with the law of attraction, our whole practice was built on doing bag work to help people get rid of their limiting beliefs so they could attract what they wanted from the law of attraction into their life. And it's been a very powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we realized, oh, it's empaths that are coming to see us. 90% of the people that would come
At
to our
least
office, if not more, were empaths. And we're like, oh, well, they're very powerful manifestors. And here is one of the biggest things that stops people up from really manifesting the things that they want in their life. And it's this, how do I let go? It's like, oh, let go. It's the elusive letting go. And it really came through very, very clear to me one day through a download. It's about letting go of how you get the thing that you are wanting to manifest. You have to let go of the details because that's where the universe comes in. Do you realize everything that you truly desire, how many details need to be rearranged and put in different places for you to receive what it is that you want? And you don't even know what those details are. So the universe truly is like your life manager that is here to bring these things into your experience. All you have to do is think about what you want, make a decision to have it, act on inspired action when it comes through.
And you're an empath, so that's, you've got the straight line.
Then let go of the how. Let go of how you think something's going to come to you. Because it's when you start trying to figure out, how am I going to get it? Okay, I'll go do this and I'll go do this and I'll go do this and I'll for sure get it then. Then you're getting in the way with resistance of receiving this glorious gift that you're wanting to manifest because you're limiting yourself in your receiving because you're trying to figure out the details. You don't even know what the details are, and you will never know what they are because it's not possible. There's too many to manage. This is why the universe is so amazing. And the universe will always say yes to your most dominant thought. So if you want something,
just shift that focus on what you want and get clear. Were you looking at something?
Just, I'm looking over while you're talking at the things. So if any questions come in, you know, we love our job. We love teaching. We love assisting. We love coaching. I love doing healings. We really enjoy it because we can see the miracles that are continually happening for people. It is unbelievable, the amazing things that happen for people. And so that's why we're talking about this today. It's so important for you to know that you get to have it the way that you want it.
Yeah.
Got to let go of the how,
you do.
But you get to figure out what that is for you because we're all here to experience joy. We're not just here as empaths to create joy and healing and love for other people. We're also here to experience joy, loving, and healing. in ourselves. And the best way to do that is to make sure that you set your boundaries and have your own back and step out of that ever elusive twist and turn of like, well, it is what it is. Everything's happening to me. Nothing's going to change. And I'm just going to sit here
that
like
keeps
this.
you right there over and over and over and over forever.
It's time to
Yeah,
get up.
It is.
And think about what you
what
want.
you want. That is the way out. And yeah, someone said glitching. Yeah, it's kind
That's
of
a great way. Great way to say
well,
it.
I was thinking glitching. We keep kind of dropping our feed every now and then. It like blacks out because we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde, but we never let that stop us. We just keep going. So if we ever lost our feed,
we'll just come back.
Just stay here and we'll come back on. We'll find our way back together. So there we go. I feel like that's a really good conversation today around complacency and how it literally robs us of the joy of our creative life. And to make those decisions, stay clear on what you want. You can have it. You can have it. It's for you. Don't worry about the details of how it's going to come. Just get clear on what you want. Take those little baby steps. Have your own back. Take a stand for you. Take care of your energy like you're your own best friend. Right?
And I have a quick question for everyone. I would love to share. I'd love you to share. Think of something small that you can do for yourself that is delightful today and post what you're going to do.
Oh, I love that.
So something that's small, it doesn't have to be a major event, just something small that you're going to do. One of the things that I did yesterday, here, hand me this so I can show them, is I was noticing that my candy dish, it's my crystal candy dish. If you know me, I'm a crystal person. And I have these beautiful hearts with foil in them. They're Dove chocolates. And in the crystal dish in the sunshine, it just looks like a gem. This whole thing looks like a jewel. And what I did yesterday is I took all the candies out and I washed this so it sparkled. And I put it back on my desk and the light was hitting it. And it brought me so much delight. Can I just tell you? So that's what I did yesterday. And I'm going to go get myself a boba drink tea today. Woo, because that's what I want for my delight. So let's see. What are you doing?
Okay, and we had a question.
Finish an audiobook, cup of coffee on the back patio. Ooh, that sounds nice. Bubble bath with Epsom salt bath, a glass of wine. Cecilia, I think I want to do the same thing. I already did it. Jan said, met my 2 best men friends at the park for a walk. How nice. That's so great. Okay. Do you have anything left to say to these beautiful people?
I just wanted to speak to really quick. Kelly Percival, when having a situation like in pain, and then Kelly, what do you mean? And what it is situation?
Question when having
a situation, for example, being in pain. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure what your question is, Kelly. You can circle back and ask that in group.
Yeah. And remember at teamempath@tiffandjack.com.
You can submit your questions.
You can,
when you're in pain, get clear on what you want. Relief.
Yep.
I would like to feel a bit of relief and ask your angels to bring it in and help you, and then just move about your day in the way that you would naturally, and plan on being surprised in beautiful ways. And by the end of the day, I bet you will notice as you look back that you had more relief than you typically do. That's how I would definitely handle that. Carolyn's going to watch a movie and not think about anything. Love it.
Love
Tina
that.
met friends for coffee. How fun. Listen to music and clean. Kat's going to sing. Farouz is reading a book in bed. Leona had a Himalayan salt bath.
Nice,
Jan
you guys.
had her good time. So there you go. So that's the
I love it. These are great ideas
They
for everyone.
really
So
are.
thanks for sharing.
If any of you have not registered for our upcoming Unstoppable Empath Lab, it's a workshop where we meet every day in a row starting February 7th for the full week. And we teach every one of those days. It's all about you and the foundation of being an empath, learning all the self-care tricks, learning how to work with your mindset, all the different parts. What type of empath are you? Deep dive into empath gifts, your spiritual gifts. We do a Q&A day. We're going to do a bonus day. It's a blast. If you haven't registered, it's entirely free. Go to empathrising.com and register today. Okay. Save your seat, empathrising.com. I've just been working on the workbook for the updates that we're making. It's like 40 pages long. You'll get the free workbook. You'll have a concierge to answer any questions. it's a blast. So empathrising.com. Join us next February 7th is when it starts. If you have any questions that you would love to have us answer on our live stream, send them to, like Tiff said, Team Empath at tiffandjack.com, TIFFANDJACK.com, Team Empath at tiffandjack.com. And we love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, everyone.
We stand with you and your abundant, successful life.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Don't forget to eat dessert first because life is meant to be
devoured.